Good morning. We welcome you to the Ventura County SELPA's Pathways to Success Dispute Prevention and Resolution series. This series provides essential skills to help you as an IEP facilitator or as an IEP team member navigate and resolve conflicts that arise during IEP meetings and can at times strain relationships between families and schools. We recognize that unresolved conflicts impact a student's academic success, and our goal is to help you build stronger, more collaborative partnerships. Each session in this series contains ready-to-use tools, techniques, or strategies that can be applied immediately to improve communication and foster a more collaborative environment for student success. Before we jump in today's topic, we'd like to tell you a little more about the Ventura County SELPA's Family and School Collaboration Team. My name is Stacy Alvey, and I serve as the team's director.
Hi, good morning. I'm Peter Aguirre, and I'm the team's program specialist.
Our vision is to build understanding, strengthen relationships, and achieve student-centered solutions. We're here to help foster a partnership between families and schools that supports every student's success. You can learn more about the SELPA's Dispute Prevention and Resolution series by going to our website at the link provided on the presentation or by going to the SELPA's website at vcselpa.org. In addition to serving districts and chartered programs within the Ventura County SELPA, Ventura County SELPA serves as a California Special Education Resource Lead in Dispute Prevention and Resolution, known as Pathways to Partnership, along with our grant partners, the Tehama County SELPA, as well as serving as a technical assistance provider for the California Department of Education. The Pathways to Partnership Consortium collaborates with educational partners to build collective capacity, expertise, and resources in the prevention and resolution of conflict with a student-centered focus in an environment of mutual respect, equity, and understanding, and with a mindset towards continuous improvement process. Your commitment to learning new dispute prevention and resolution skills today is an investment in a better future for our students and schools. When you use these new skills, you're actively preserving and building stronger relationships, building collaborative capacity while minimizing the emotional and financial costs of escalated conflicts. As you go through this training, you may also notice that you're already using some of these skills in your day-to-day support with students and families. Incorporating the skills you already have with new skills can make meetings not only more welcoming and productive, but as mentioned, help to avoid emotional and financial strain that comes with conflict.
So you can see all the presentations that are going to be provided in this series on this slide here. You can access the registration for each of these sessions through the Ventura County SELPA's website at vcselpa.org, and then going into the professional development section and clicking on that to register. Also, when you get a copy of this slide deck, if you click the title of this slide, you'll be able to access a registration link. Know that these are all supposed to complement each other and build upon each other, although you could grab each individual one at your own pace. Once the presentation is ended today, we will stop the recording. It is being recorded today, but you guys are off screen. And once we're done with the presentation today, we're going to go into Q&A and we'll stop the recording so that we can answer any questions that you submitted. Okay, so let's get started on the presentation. This presentation, the Pathways to Successful IEP Meetings, will provide you with a basic overview of the IEP meeting facilitator's role and the role of all IEP team members. A successful IEP meeting takes a team, and it's not just facilitators who can use these skills we will be sharing with you throughout the series. We'll be providing you today with some simple changes you can put into practice immediately. You may hear information that is already familiar to you, as Stacy was mentioning, and you may hear explanations that provide new understanding, though, at the same time when it comes to preventing and resolving conflict. All right, so we're going to take a look at how today's presentation will benefit you.
So, as a result of this presentation, you'll have an understanding of the nature of conflict which exists in every relationship, whether personal, professional, or as community partners. You'll be able to further understand the benefits of meeting facilitation by understanding the difference between the meeting process and the meeting content. And you'll have an understanding of the importance of clarified roles, including your own as a meeting facilitator. We'll actually provide you with a sample facilitator introduction and encourage you to think through how you would explain your role in meetings as a facilitator or an administrator, a teacher, a community partner, related service provider, and encourage you to think through how you would explain when you're serving in multiple roles during a meeting. So let's talk a little bit more about the facilitator's role in an IEP meeting. An effective IEP meeting facilitator does more than just run a meeting. They set the tone for a truly collaborative process. It starts with simple, thoughtful planning that attends to the emotional culture of the group. You'll learn more about the planning in our upcoming presentation on prevention, so we hope you'll join us then. Facilitation is also more than setting a positive tone. It's also creating an efficient and inclusive process that benefits students. An effective facilitator guides the team towards specific meeting objectives, ensuring every member is actively involved in a collaborative discussion to reach agreements. An effective facilitator utilizes skilled questioning to ensure understanding with the ultimate goal of reaching agreement. Remember, a successful meeting is a responsibility of the entire team. The facilitator is there to support and guide the process, but they can't do it alone. Any IEP team member can and should utilize facilitation skills. It's also crucial to understand that even the best facilitation has its limits. Some conflicts may be too complex for this process, and additional support may be needed to reach a resolution. So with that said, let's take a closer look into conflict.
Conflict is a natural and inevitable part of human relationships. Because we're all unique individuals and have diverse perspectives, needs, and communication styles, it's impossible to completely avoid disagreements. This is especially true when discussing important decisions about a student's education. When both parents and school staff care deeply for a student's progress and want the best for them, the stakes can seem incredibly high. The shared goal of the student's success can sometimes lead to situations where conflicts arise, as both sides strive to support the student in a way that aligns with the goals, responsibilities, and the perspectives that they have on what is needed. Even with the best conflict prevention techniques, conflict is still possible. Everyone has their own tendencies for dealing with conflict, which often is shaped by their past experiences. Some people may be more direct, while others prefer to avoid conflict altogether. There are no right or wrong tendencies, but our responses and the responses of others to conflict can help or hinder how well it's managed. For this reason, understanding your own response to conflict and the others' approaches to it is the first step to managing conflict constructively. So conflict, while often uncomfortable, is a powerful catalyst for positive change. We have all heard how a life without challenges can lead to stagnant growth. And conflict is one of the many challenges that we can face in life, but it's the type of challenge that has an opportunity to create something better and lead to possible solutions that were initially undiscovered. When managed constructively, Conflict allows us to uncover new perspectives, clarify misunderstandings, and create lasting solutions that benefit students. It is for this reason that your job as a facilitator is not to breeze over or avoid conflict if it's present, but rather to support the group in managing it in a way that that it leads to productive and respectful conversation. When conflict is not managed, especially in an IEP meeting, the team can lose focus on what's most important, the student, and create issues between the team members, hindering their ability to collaborate. We'll discuss more conflict management strategies later in this series, but it's important to highlight that the presence of conflict is not a reflection of the strength of the relationship between team members, but it's really just an inevitable part of a relationship. The goal when conflict is present is to reduce the impact it has on trust, collaboration, and communication. While a crucial aspect of a facilitator's role is to help manage conflict constructively, this is one of many responsibilities they have in supporting the IEP meeting. A meeting which is built upon two components, the content and the process. Understanding how the facilitator supports these two components is essential to understanding the full scope of their role. The content of the IEP meeting is the what of the meeting, the specific information and decisions that need to be made. This includes the student assessments results, their goals, the services they'll receive, their educational placement. Using the preparation of a fruit salad as an example, think of the content as all the individual fruits you'll use to make a fruit salad, strawberries, bananas, grapes, and oranges. Each piece of fruit is important and has its own flavor, just as each part of the IEP is critical to a student's success. In contrast, the process is the how, and this is the space in which the facilitator operates. The process is the way in which the team interacts, communicates, and works together. Returning to the analogy that we have with the fruit salad, the process is how you prepare and present that fruit salad. It's the act of the facilitator washing and slicing each fruit, arranging them in the bowl, and maybe adding a dressing or garnish. So some examples of caretaking for the process might look like ensuring that the parent feels welcomed into the meeting. The parents or family are recognized as an equal team member, providing support when the team is in an impasse, demonstrating support when the team needs help with active listening by modeling it as well. A facilitator's role is to operate within the process by using various tools and techniques to benefit the group. In the role of a facilitator, it is not their place to operate on the content, but rather support the process so the IEP team members can focus on that content. And at the same time, all team members, though, can operate within the process, and the facilitator can support those individuals by making suggestions on which process tools might be of use to them. The intent is to build a shared understanding, support the team through decision-making process, and ultimately resulting in a mutual agreement. So you can have all the right fruits, in this case, the content. And we're talking about the present levels of progress, for example, the identified areas of needs, the interventions, the supports to the student. But without a thoughtful process of preparation, like how we're communicating, you will just have a plate of fruit and not a delicious fruit salad. The process is what brings it all together, all the components together, creating something that's cohesive and complete. Now, keep in mind, in many circumstances, the facilitator may also be serving as a key IEP team member, such as the case manager or local education agency representative. We'll discuss how that facilitator can help fulfill when they're in both roles in just a few minutes. Okay, so tying these concepts back to potential conflict, it has been determined that almost all problems in an IEP meeting are process problems, and they require a process solution to be managed effectively. And even when the problem has to deal with the content, a good process strategy can help the team navigate the issue and find a solution that all participants can support. It's a key part of the facilitator's role to help the group with these process solutions, which allow each team member to focus on the content of the meeting and contribute fully. This brings us to our next point, the importance of every team member, including the facilitator, understanding, communicating, and fulfilling their role in the IEP meeting.
So for an IEP team to work effectively, it's really crucial that everyone is on the same page about roles. When everyone clearly understands their specific responsibilities in the meeting and they're clear about their areas of expertise, whether you're a parent, a teacher, a service provider, the team can function as a cohesive unit. Role clarification isn't just about avoiding confusion, it's about empowering members to collaborate efficiently and ensure every perspective is heard and considered. So, who do you think may be least likely to understand what their role is in the IEP meeting? If you guess the student or the facilitator, you may be correct. However, they may not be the only ones. Typically, parents, administrators, maybe general education teachers have difficulty articulating their purpose in the meeting. And because of this, they may not understand that they have a vital role and a purpose. They certainly should not feel that they are simply present in the meeting as a legal requirement or to passively receive information. As a facilitator, you can help team members to understand their role in the meeting by helping them to address how they work with the student and what information they'll be sharing or contributing during the meeting. The team members should describe during the introduction portion of the meeting their planned contribution. So the statement can go something like this. My name is Stacy Alvey. I'm the school psychologist that assessed our student. And although I don't provide any direct services currently at this time, I'll be able to speak to the assessment results and I'll be providing recommendations to the rest of the team to consider. So let's take a look at the role of the IEP meeting facilitator. This is really important that you're able to articulate your role. The facilitator helps to keep the meeting on track. Again, you'll learn more about that when we present on prevention and intervention strategies. We're really trying to encourage you to sign up for the remainder of the series. The facilitator ensures the meeting stays focused on the student, ensures that all team members feel valued and heard. This is a critical role, and ensures the team is working towards agreement on identified meeting objectives. The facilitator also ensures the meeting feels safe and productive. We mentioned earlier that the meeting facilitator may also serve as another role in the meeting. For example, they might be the case manager or the school psychologist or the district representative. If the facilitator is holding two roles, it will be really important to let the rest of the team know during the introductions, and you'll want to inform the group as you're jumping between the dual roles. A statement such as, I'm going to take my hat off now as a facilitator and speak as the school psychologist so I can answer some of the questions you have about the assessment results, will really be helpful. Help prepare the rest of the team. Clarifying both roles helps to maintain the more neutral, caretaking role of the facilitator. Facilitating while serving in dual roles can be tricky, but it certainly can be done in many cases. So now we'd like to share a sample of how one facilitator introduced their role in the meeting. But remember, this is just a sample, and how you introduce yourself in the meeting is going to look different. So here it says, my name is Ms. Jones, and I'll be serving in the role of the meeting facilitator for today's IEP meeting. This means that I'll be ensuring that the meeting stays focused on our agreed upon outcomes, and I'll help to ensure that our agenda is being followed, ensured that all team members feel valued and heard in this meeting, and ultimately, I'll help guide you as a team to reach agreements for the student's educational plan. It's possible that I could be pausing the meeting fairly frequently to check in, to ensure that there's mutual understanding and agreement. Does that work for everyone? If important issues come up that are not directly related to the student's IEP, I'll place them on a parking lot so they can be addressed after this meeting, because I know that these are important issues. It's possible that I may have to redirect your attention to agreed upon meeting norms during the meeting. Is there anyone who will have a problem with that? So for those of you that are watching and present here in our webinar today, we're going to encourage you afterwards to really think through how you would introduce yourself. And for future viewers of the video, we encourage you to pause the video and think through how you would introduce yourself in your role in the meeting. Also, you may want to think about how you introduce yourself if you were wearing multiple hats, such as the meeting facilitator, as well as a district representative, for example. Team members also can take on additional roles to help enhance collaboration. These roles might include maybe a meeting charter if you're taking visual notes for all the team to view, or the note taker who's working on the computer taking the meeting notes. A timekeeper ensuring that the team knows how the meeting's progressing and how much time is left in the meeting. Or possibly what's been referred to as an IEP navigator to guide the parent or the student through the relevant sections of an IEP document. Or maybe a meeting greeter, bringing the parent and student into the IEP meeting room. You're not limited to see what you see here on the screen. Maybe you can use an action plan note taker to document the promises that are made during the meeting, for example. There's just many ways for everyone to take part. And the reality is a successful meeting, again, is everybody's responsibility. It's going to be important for you to review as a facilitator the expectations for each one of these additional roles, and whenever possible, ask individuals if they're comfortable with the responsibility. And this should be done ahead of the meeting, whenever possible. Remember to think about additional roles parents and students may be able to play in support of the meeting. Perhaps the student can assist with the welcome and introductions and maybe even lead the discussion about their strengths, for example. Maybe you can envision parents also leading the discussion about their child's strengths or serving as a timekeeper for the meeting. Involving all team members help them to feel part of the team and part of the solutions. That's really critical to help reduce conflict.
Okay, so we're actually concluding our first session, and we'd like to review what we discussed today. The presentation focused on the facilitator role, what it means to be a facilitator, and how effective facilitators use specific guiding principles to support a group. We talked about the nature of conflict and how, when managed effectively, it can lead to solutions that benefit the student. It can also strengthen or repair relationships when handled appropriately. While conflict isn't always present, it is common and it's likely to occur when individuals are working together on an important topic like a student's educational success. Lastly, we reviewed how important it is for participants in an IEP meeting to understand and communicate their roles. We also discussed ways to explain the role of a facilitator and how to highlight that you might be serving an additional role alongside that. So on our next session, we'll be on the elements of facilitation, where we'll examine the role of neutrality within a facilitated IEP. We'll explore how self-awareness can help you as the facilitator, and then can focus on supporting the group without influencing the meeting outcomes. We'll also take a deeper dive into conflict styles and have an activity to help you become more aware of the different styles that exist. Okay, so we're asking you just to take literally 15 seconds. It's a very short survey. We know everyone's asked to take surveys these days, but it would take up to 15 seconds to scan this QR code and complete the survey. If you want to add comments, it might take a little bit longer, but your feedback will help us to tailor the future presentations and go into content areas that you'd like addressed. So if you can take a minute to do that, that'd be awesome. We do appreciate that you took the time, and we know how much of a demanding schedule you might have. It's a busy time of year, but you chose to be with us today, and we truly, truly appreciate that, and we'll truly appreciate your feedback.